what is public interest in these cases? Let's hear what you've got to say.
OK, our first caller thinks we should be more aligned with Europe. It's Lee on line 1.
Morning, Lee.
Morning, Matthew.
Go on then, fire away.
Well, I think the reason why so many newspapers have taken an anti-European stance and printed loads and loads of reasons why we shouldn't be joining Europe is clearly quite evident now, because they don't want to be gagged. You know, these people have obviously got their own agenda.
But then, hang on, Lee, hang on. When you say about gag, it's very easy to think about gagging on the more mundane sexual stories, but the Profumo story, Cherie Blair being paid to do speeches. Now, in an example like that, you could say Cherie was happy to be paid. The charities that were paying her for speeches were happy to pay her. What right is it of us to know what the wife, unelected wife of a Prime Minister, is pocketing? What right do we have to know? Well, I think it's very important we know.
I do, but I think, you know, let's look at the case that took place yesterday. The reality is that there was a gross inaccuracy. You know, it wasn't a Nazi orgy theme.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And the story wouldn't have even gone into the paper, but for the Nazi angle.
Well, they needed the Nazi angle to get a public interest in order to publish it.
Well, exactly, and that's my point. The
Yeah.
papers should be held accountable, and there should be truth. And I think the biggest disgrace yesterday is the fact that they only have to pay out 60,000 in damages.
It'll cost them £1 million. The legal bill cost them £1 million.
The budgets that these people already have in place to deal with this kind of thing,
Yeah.
it's a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
I think we should be setting an example and trying to, you know, the rest of Europe's laughing at Britain because we've got this small-minded tabloid attitude.
OK, all right, Lee, thank you very much. Very clear how you feel. Let's have a note.
OK, let's go straight to Chantal then on line 3.
Chantal, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, what do you think?
I think that even famous people do have a right to a private life. I think that the Mosley case was very flimsy, whereas when there's hypocrisy, like, for example, footballers who are very happy to sell pictures of their wedding, and then they start complaining when, you know, you have, you know, stories coming out, you know, with affairs, and I think that there is a problem. And also, you know, sort of preachers who are saying one thing, or politicians who are saying, you know, you should live your life like this, but then behind the scenes. So I think that editors should really just be more responsible.
Let me just get this right, Chantal, let me get this right. So if me and Biggins are enjoying whipping each other in the privacy of our own bedrooms, OK, Neil can be there as well. And my girlfriend Amelia as well.
She can
so
be there.
we're all whipping there. There's no infidelity or cheating going on whatsoever. That story should remain private. It shouldn't go in the newspapers.
No, I don't think it should. I mean, that's your private business, so, you know...
Thank you, Chantal. You're quite right.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that. Pass me the baby oil. Chantal, thank you for the call. Let's have another.
OK, we've got Jerry on line 2.
Jerry, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
So where do you stand on public interest and sex stories?
Well, I thought that the last sex story was quite a good one, actually. I didn't really get put off by sports just because Mr. Mosley was involved in what he was involved in. I think that if it is important for people to... If we need to know that someone's doing something that they shouldn't be doing, then we should know about it. Also, I think the papers maybe should do a little bit of research ahead of time just to make sure that they're onto the right story.
You've lost me a little bit. You're saying that Max Mosley, right?
Yeah.
The Nazi thing, which is disproven. If we take that out, was there any public interest in knowing that the head of Formula One liked to pay prostitutes to spank him till his bottom bled? Is there any public interest in that at all?
Well, I mean, I didn't really necessarily need to hear about it, but somehow it got out there.
But is he entitled to indulge in that passion? You see, because there's an element there. His wife didn't know, right? He's been married for 45 years. He was indulging in this kind of activity for 43 years. So he is misled his wife. He's caused her great harm and everything else, but only by having the story exposed.
I think that's good. It was going to come out at some point.
Would it? Why? I mean, if we adopt a European law that says you're entitled to privacy, then that story would never come out. His wife would never know. Their marriage would be a sham as far as he was concerned, but as far as she was concerned, she would be happy enough, no harm done.
Well, I think if he was able to get out of it that way, then that's fine, if that's what it says. We can't go digging in too far into people's lives. I mean, like you're saying, everyone does deserve privacy, a certain level of privacy. So, I mean, it's just unfortunate it got out for him, but then, you know, it did get out, unfortunately.
And one of the reasons it got out, of course, because the News of the World paid one of the prostitutes, promised to pay one of the prostitutes 25 grand for a story, a Miss E, and she then refused to testify in court. And the News of the World initially said she was ill, and then it emerged that they'd only paid her 12,500, half the money they'd actually offered her, and that's why she didn't show up. Checkbook journalism. Thank you very much for all your calls on that. We've got to leave that there, take a break. Before we do that, I have to dispatch this morning's panel. Anna Fitzpatrick's Guide to Charity Shop Chic still to come, of course. Hugh, great to have you with us, I have to say. Lovely to see you. Thank you for giving us so many laughs.
I've been slightly upset that during this I've been dying for coffee, but this is
stuck to
glued
the table again, isn't it?
You try moving that. It's absolutely...
Actually,
20
I can't
minutes.
get it off.
It's obviously
I'm not
instant
being
coffee.
It is. It's just been taunting me. It's been taunting me for an hour.
Thank you for coming on. Really enjoyed your company. And as for you two, Larry and Biggins, it's absolutely made my week. Bless you both.
Have a good holiday.
Oh, thank you very much. I will do. Give it up for the panel, ladies and gentlemen.